So in this space, while they were talking about this, some of the women were going heavy. Men are cheaters. They will cheat. The generalizations continued. They will cheat. The men cheat. They just kept going in and going in and going in and stuff, right? Now, if you listen to what I said in the last few minutes carefully, I didn't say men will always cheat. I'm saying cheat, steal, lie, doing all the wrong things. When it feels right, you will continue to do it. When it feels right, you will continue to do it, especially if you're in a space where it's just completely void, empty. You don't feel solid as a human being. You're in your low self-esteem, low self-worth. You will participate in bad behaviors. It's just what it is, right? So how do you make sure you don't? Just be righteous. No, that's the point I'm making. Righteousness is not good enough, okay? It's about positioning, right? Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're feeding self, particularly emotionally, okay? There's the other side to this. What can you do about your spouse not cheating? Most people will say nothing. Most people will say nothing. And I understand that. I get where they're coming from. 100%. I think you're right. That the cheater is the cheater. They should take full accountability for it. It's not your fault. 100%. But there's a big old but. There's a big old but. Okay? There's a part you play in that. Directly or indirectly, it's not the same thing as it's your fault. That's not what I just said. What I'm saying is that you happen to be part of the external environmental factors, right? And yes, there are some things you could do, okay? Not particularly for the other person. Maybe that's where we're confusing it. For your relationship, so that that division will never come in, right? That void will never creep into your relationship. There's a lot you can do about that. And you can choose also to disconnect from it, right? Why? Because every time somebody cheated on you, you're just a victim, right? It's a mindset. What I am talking about is not necessarily what it looks like on paper, but a mindset, right? When you engage your power, right, then it becomes what we call confidence. Confidence is what? Sexy, right? It becomes almost impossible for some things to just happen, right? Because it's like, why would I do that? Remember that analogy from yesterday? Was it here yesterday? I think it was here, right? Buying a BMW brand new X5 and then putting regular petrol inside of it. When you can increase the quality of petrol you put inside of it. Imagine you say, no, the engine is either good or it's not good. Let me just put any kind of petrol inside of it, right? Right? How you see it is how you take care of it. How you see yourself is how you take care of yourself. How you take care of yourself is how other people tend to treat you. I intentionally put the word tend in there so that you can know that it's not 100% absolute, right? There are just people that are evil and they're mad. They're just not majority of people though, okay? But there are a lot of people. There are enough of them and they are around you, and if you don't know how to take care of yourself, you will attract them, okay? Because they're like, this one is a sucker, let me take advantage of it, right? That's just how it works, okay? Can human beings have self-control? Yes. But maybe hopefully you would agree that self-control is a little bit easier if the environmental conditions are conducive, right? Can agbado corn, can it germinate inside of any ground as long as there's a soil, a little bit of even if there's no water, there's a soil, right? It will germinate. But if there's no water and the environment is not conducive for it, right, it will come out looking weird, right? Have you ever seen corn on a cob, right? And you're like, there's no corn on this thing, like it's nothing less, it's like just dry, right? Because the environment where it was germinated and grown, it wasn't conducive. It's the same thing with your relationship. You do have power, okay? You can't be a victim, but you do have power. And that's all I want to show you, okay? And how you use that power is everything, right? You can use it against your partner, or you can use it to get your partner on your team, and then you can fight the forces of evil, the one that's not flesh, right? Together as a team. It's completely up to you what you do with it. I would suggest the latter. Okay. Hey, Tima, how you doing? I would suggest that. So they kept going in. They started to generalize. They were going in, yeah. Somebody just outrightly said Banky is a cheater. Okay. They said Tools. Tools is a radio on-air personality. Let me see if I can find Tools picture. Tools and husband. All right. So the husband is best friends with his best friends. Is actually best friend, childhood best friend to what do you call it? What do you call him? Banky W. Right. So that person actually said, allegedly, right? Person said, well, Tools' husband is also, this is Tools' husband right here. Captain Dimuran. Okay. He's actually a younger brother to a family friend here. This is the link that I had, mutual friends with Banky W. And the person was like, well, Tools' husband is a known cheater. That's what we heard in the streets. So Banky W must be a cheater too, right? Can you see correlation, right? Correlation becoming causation and becoming facts, right? And I'm like, okay, do you have anything else beyond that? Like, no, it's just hearsay. Oh, so he must be a cheater too. Well, it's true that birds of the same feather, they move together, right? I might have butchered that, but you know what I mean, all right? So there was a lot of things that they were just saying. It just looked like a lot of people are just hungry for negative rumors, and they will basically make it the thing, right? Another one said, well, somebody was like, well, why are they always posting pictures? Why are they always posting pictures? It's like they just want to pepper them. I'm like, it's like, hold on, Joe. May God save us from monitoring spirits. I was like, so they can't post. He can't post a picture of his family. Well, people should learn how to keep their family inside and not post. I'm like, says who? Says who? Just a rule that we made up. We just think is a pastor. He should be a little bit more careful. And if this kind of rumor comes out, he should come out and debunk it. So this picture is too much for a young family to post. This picture is too much right here. T Alpha, how you doing? Miss you too. Miss you. Right? And then, okay, so this was what, 3 hours ago? Adesu, I posted this. This is what's peppering them. I just want you to pay attention to how people respond to this kind of stuff. Okay? I just want to pay attention to that. Say, are you a fan? Because you blow me away. Applause. We are wrapped and shielded in his excess love. Love you, Baba. Wow. This is the part that's pissing them off. Okay. What about this one? Why they're just lying. This was posted when 1 hour ago. Well, he edited it 1 hour ago, right? I guess he had it credit the church and all that kind of stuff. So they said it's on the website of the church as a pastor. Okay, good. And right? Okay. All these pictures are pissing you off. Okay, what about this one right here? If you see this, what's he gonna do? What are you gonna do? So they kept going in and in. They shouldn't post picture. Well, they're the one that cooked up how people see them. So people are disappointed, so they can be disappointed. The entitlement to other people's life just because they chose a career path as a celebrity. Could make sense now. It doesn't make any sense. Boarding the flight as I am coming back from my vacation on a cruise to the Bahamas.
You think so they're wise?
Are you here to pepper us? What are you doing, Chinye? I'm happy you went for a vacation, Chinye. That's good. That's good. Sounds good. Now you're making my mouth water. All right. I hope you enjoy yourself, Sha. All right. So they just kept going. Somebody says, I don't believe he did it, but I am disappointed in no accountability. What? Accountability to what? Oh yeah, he's a pastor. Since the rumor is just out there, like they should at least they said he was circling around the subject. So he didn't have any. So I'm guessing you've confirmed that he did not have any message to share on Sunday. Right? He didn't have any message to share. Right? He was just circling around it. Then the other person said, well, I don't know what they're peppering. Who wants that one? I don't want a local pornographist. Ouch. I was like, ouch. Straight bullet. Or you calling me? Who was my own in this one? Right? A local pornographist. So the message he gave on Sunday in his church was about, I don't want to use the word because I think they demonetized us yesterday because of that. Right? Because it was talking about the prison of the word that, that rhymes with honor. Right? So they're using that word now to shame him. They said, well, you should say something. Whatever he says, I need you to understand this. This is from a power standpoint right now. Whatever you say will never be enough for the world. I just need you to understand that. And if you have to make a statement, make sure you're clear why you're making a statement and you have zero expectations attached to it. You have zero outcome attached to that statement. You're just doing it for the record. Like they call it for the record. Okay? All right. If you didn't do it, what's the big deal? You should say you didn't do it. No, I didn't say he didn't do it, number one. Number two, for all I know, he might have slept with somebody in a hotel 2 days before this news broke out. It's possible. I'm not here to give you la la land fantasy anything about the world. This world is not perfect. Okay? So maybe that person is now has some picture or something of him walking out of a hotel, but he knows for a fact they're not pregnant. But it's like, no, let me slow down. I'm not making a statement. I don't even know what they're talking. Wait, am I the only yellow papa in Nigeria with a fine wife who is the whole world loves our marriage? Could make sense. But these are the people's expectations, and they wonder, they take this type of expectations, they take it into a relationship, and they wonder why they actually literally create the kind of worst case scenarios they fantasize about. You will attract what you fear the most, always. Okay? My wife and I, we don't post this kind of picture. We might have one or two out there in all of, God knows how long we've been on social media. We've been on social media from the beginning. 20 years or so, 18 years, 20 years. Right? From the days of high five. High five into MySpace, right? We might have one or two. It's not a thing, right? But the thing is that we have enough that can become pepper them for certain types of people. And it's, I guess I can understand it, but it's weird. It's weird for that to pepper them anybody, right? And for people to be actively fantasizing about demolishing that marriage when there is no fact, no name has been mentioned. I think it speaks to the state of the mind of an average person in your dating scene right now. And it's something you have to just watch out for. Okay? Everyone has their guards up because they assume worst case scenario always. Including men now. They assume worst. I was just in the same room and a grown man was in there saying, these women are cheater. They are cheater. They are cheater. I'm going to get into that part of the story in a second. That's where the title came in. I'm moving on. Surprise! I'm moving on. Okay, we're gonna get to that in a second here. Yeah, let me see. So it's weird what people are doing to themselves out in the street, but it's the reality. How do you mitigate this? Because this might be you. You have fear. You have fear because of your experience. You're looking over your shoulder. You want to make sure, but how do you determine the line where you start shooting yourself on the legs? How do we know? How do we draw that line where I don't hurt myself in the process of building a castle around myself? How do I make sure that this castle I'm building around myself does not cave in on me? Because I tell you, fear is not necessarily a bad motivator. It might make you, put you in a position where you can protect yourself, but to what extent? Because it's not an absolute. Fear will also hurt you. You can use fear to hurt yourself in that process, you know. But welcome, Chinye. Welcome. You would have volunteered to go in your hand luggage. Hope you had fun. I hope you had fun. Oh, we need to catch up. What about me? You know, you're not gonna come up and tell us. You need it bad. I need one bad right now. Okay, don't make me. Okay. Thunder key them with accountability. How do you ask people that his name has not been mentioned to come and be held accountable? Some people went to the extent of saying back in the days they would tell them to sit in the back. Like they would tell them to, you can't go on the stage for now. Because of a rumor that never mentioned his name, they say yellow. You know how many yellow papa I know? With fine wife that everybody loves their marriage. Okay, granted, none of them was a musician turned politician. Okay? Desmond Elliott is not yellow papa. Granted. But there's nothing in that story that said it wasn't completely fictional. Right? The only thing you can hold on to is that Gistlover has broken some real stories in the past. And guess what happened to the people that tried to jump ahead of Gistlover? They are now clowns doing skits on the internet. And they completely use their own hands to destroy the reputation of his own family. Shout out to Yul Edochie. The last thing you ever want to do is jump ahead of the media. You can't beat the media. You need to stay in your own lane. Continue what you are doing. If it's that bad, after you assess things over time, you would consider if there's a need for a statement also. If there is a need for a statement. More than likely, there is zero need for a statement if you don't mention my name, your father. What are we talking about here?
Your daddy.
Your daddy.
There's no need for it. Oh, but you know, it's like, you know, to the body of Christ, body of Christ, body of Christ has out.
Sorry, yo.
Who is the body of Christ? You! That you are poking nose in people's matter, that you are turning people into idols on the internet just because they are showcasing highlights of their life on social media, that everybody has freedom to do whatever they want, right? Who is stopping the people that are doing like this on social media with drinks in their head at night, showcasing that the world has changed and people don't have to be married again? Is anybody stopping those people? So why would anybody have a need to like, oh, married people should, you know, why? So you can feel better. That is weird. Okay.